Enlightenment practice is coming back to the realization of the notional nature of the physical world. We allow that realization to infuse and permeate our sense of being. And then what happens is the so-called concrete reality that people spend their lives running around in takes on a dreamlike quality, or its dreamlike nature is realized. And this is an ongoing process that happens gradually. Vasishta continued, when this viveka, or wisdom, is strengthened and confirmed, and when the impurity of conditioning is washed away, the Holy One shines with an extraordinary radiance. So this is the viveka, or wisdom. This is the enlightenment practice, freeing ourselves from belief in our own notions, our own prejudices, our own assumptions, and so on. Both the inner notion and the external perception of the world cease for him. Well, there is no perception. This has been explored quite a lot previously. Perception is also a notion. But then, since all these were born of ignorance which is false, nothing real ceases to be. The world is but an appearance. It is neither not self, nor is it gross and physical. These elements are unreal. Neither the world nor the void is real. Brahman alone is spread out, and Brahman alone shines. The world is not material. The void is not seen. The mind has come to naught. What remains is the truth, indescribable, but not non-being. It's difficult to describe a lot of things as whether they exist or don't exist, or whether they're real or unreal. We somehow think that these are very clear-cut divisions. Well, either it's real or it isn't. Either it's true or it's not. But what about a dream? Is a dream real? Certainly at the time of the dream it's very, very, very real. It's only afterwards, after we've woken up, that we can casually dismiss our conviction in the reality of the dream. The dream is so real that we can have all sorts of physical reactions to it. We can wake up in sheer terror or erotic delight. It's certainly very, very real at the time, even perhaps more real than we normally experience reality in our waking state. The dream can be hyper real, and yet when we wake up we dismiss it. It was only a dream, only a dream. So is a dream real or is it not real? Is our opinion now more accurate than the opinion when we're getting emotionally caught up in the dream? When we're experiencing the excitement or the terror or the embarrassment? Are these not more real? Does a dream exist or does a dream not exist? These things aren't straightforward, although we like to think that they're straightforward. The intellect is baffled by conflicting statements, but when the truth is investigated by proper methods, it is realized. He whose intelligence is awakened is known as the knower of truth. He is established in non-dual consciousness, and he does not perceive the world as the world. The world as something out there, as an object. And non-dual consciousness is simply consciousness, because consciousness is non-dual. The world appearance arises only when the infinite consciousness sees itself as an object. It were better that this did not happen. One wonders what it would be like if it didn't happen. I suspect there wouldn't be any awareness or any life at all. But once this has arisen, it is externalized and materialized. The awareness of matter is the mind, and the mind binds itself to the body. Once we've got the notion of matter as something real, external and concrete, it's very hard to get rid of it. And then we attach that notion to the body as well, the notion of matter to the body. But all these are but notions and verbal descriptions, and these distinctions are notional and imaginary. The self which is consciousness does not ever become an object or material. When one is established in self-knowledge, even consciousness and unconsciousness become meaningless words. Words are only ever words. Ideas are only ever ideas. Notions are only ever notions. We think in words, we conceptualize in words, but that's all they are. They have no intrinsic reality. The material body arises from the subtle mental body on account of persistent thinking. The subtle mental body is just the body of our thoughts and feelings. Hence matter is unreal. By constantly thinking, I am confused, I am mad, one becomes mad. By realizing I am not mad, one regains his mental balance. This is quite important. Realizing that you're not mad is a very important thing, because especially when exploring something like the Yoga Vasishta, we generally take our cue of madness from what other people think. Well, it's not even what other people think, it's what we think other people might think. A lot of our problems actually arise from what we think other people are thinking. And this gives rise to the thought, I am confused, I am mad. But if you stop worrying about what other people are thinking, if you stop thinking about what other people are thinking, because you don't really know, it's just an expression of your own anxieties and neuroses. And if you start to feel confident in yourself with no need to justify yourself, then this is when you can say, I am not mad. And you regain your mental balance. When the dream is realized as dream, one is not fooled by it. Just as the subtle body becomes a gross material body by persistent thinking, the process can be reversed by right knowledge. There's no subtle body becoming a gross body, it's only the weight of our thoughts and prejudices that give rise to the intrinsic belief in a physical body. Once we start analysing these beliefs, inquiring into their nature, looking into them, really looking into them, then we get back to the subtle body. In other words, we understand the notional nature of things, and then we can dissociate from these notions. One should lead by persistent right contemplation, even the subtle body to its real state as the jiva, and then to Brahman. So the jiva is the intrinsic notions, and Brahman is the awareness within which these notions arise. Unless and until both these, matter and mind, the gross and the subtle, are realized to be the one infinite consciousness, the wise seeker should endeavour to purify them and to investigate their real nature. What we do is we weaken the tendencies to believe in the physical independent external reality of matter, and looking at the conviction we have in our own notions. I think it's a good idea to understand conviction here as imprisonment. He who is established in self-knowledge is unshaken by the worst calamities, even if there were a shower of fire and brimstone, or the earth disintegrated and vanished into thin air, or the great flood swallowed everything. One who is endowed with supreme dispassion enjoys the adamantine samadhi, vajra samadhi. The inner peace that ensues from such dispassion is incomparable to that which arises from austerities, etc. So if you're looking for true inner peace, then this is the way.